Yeah. All right. So let's get started then.
Okay. Wait, are we
Hi,
not
everyone.
started?
Oh.
I ruined it.
Hi everyone. Welcome to Artificial Entertainment. And Ready Player One's coming out. Well, actually, it'll be out by the time this episode's out. And as a promotion for the film, they're letting certain reviewers actually go into the Oasis
I don't like
and
really going.
move around. So the three of us have our Oasis goggles on, and we're in the
Certainly
world,
do.
guys. What characters have you picked to be? What iconic characters are you?
Wait, we could be more than one?
No, there's
How
two
does
of
this
you.
work?
So you
Okay,
are one.
okay, so there's
Mason
one-
is another,
one of
and I'm a
me.
third.
Okay.
I gotta be honest, I think something messed up. I'm Jessica Rabbit. I'm confused.
You're making me very confused.
How do I fix
Oh
this?
my-
How do I fix this?
Well, stop jumping up and down. It's making it worse.
I don't know where to look.
Let's change subject and not look at Mason. Tyler, what are you?
I'm Gumby. What is going on?
So
Oh,
in a
dear.
game where you picked, in a game where you can literally be anyone, you picked a character that can transform into anyone.
See, I'm crafty that way. It was
Because
the first thing that popped in my head. I don't know what's going on.
Interesting.
There's so much sequence. They really.
Mason, what have I said about the jumping? You gotta stop, bro. If
Okay.
you're gonna be her, you gotta. Stop.
You're gonna smack yourself in the face with those.
Am I the
His
recut?
tiny
version?
waist
Let me
is
find
giving out.
Well, I mean, there's enough Zemeckis in here already, so you had plenty money back
Stop
in
it.
22.
Stop it right now. God, I hope
Just
we get flagged.
Play the music. Play the music. Play the music.
Did you play it?
Yes, I
Little
played it.
Gumby. How do you get out of here?
Well, we've taken off the goggles now. All right.
Well, you have. I'm. Oh, you just take a. No, I feel stupid. Okay, no, we're good.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Artificial Entertainment. I am your host, Josh Lakaitis. With me are my two co-hosts, Mason Betterly and Tyler Yaney.
Hi.
Hey,
Guys,
how are you?
we're 11 episodes in. I feel like you can do better than hi.
Howdy doody there, neighbor. Aren't we glad to see you today? We got quite the show for you. Let's hear about it, Josh.
Yeah, take us away, Josh. We got a fun hour of programming planned tonight.
I cry
Well-
myself to sleep at night.
Life is pain.
So, I don't know if you've heard the news, but guess what's getting a reboot?
Oh,
What now?
Dr.
Disney?
Dolittle.
What?
the third time's
Oh!
the charm.
Yeah, Dr. Doolittle.
Who's
Yes.
playing him?
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh.
He can do things
animated,
apparently, other than
And
Oh.
they're apparently whitewashing him.
Well, the original Dr. Dolittle was Rex Harrison?
No, the original Dr. Dolittle was Eddie Murphy, and we all know this.
No, it was his daughter, Kyla Pratt.
So the title is called The Voyage of Dr. Dolittle.
He's based on books.
I don't know.
I think it's
The-
based on the tale of Moses.
The image of the cast I'm looking at, like, it's just the actors, but it's like, it's kind of going for a Lemony Snicket kind of vibe, it looks like.
Okay. Are they doing like a cast photo like the Dark Universe?
No. no, it's just headshots. Would you like to hear the cast?
No, but go for it.
Emma Thompson as a parrot. Craig Robinson as a mouse. Ralph Fiennes as a tiger.
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes. Octavia Spencer as a duck. Tom Holland as a dog.
Aww.
John Cena as Yoshi, a polar bear. Kumail
is it a Norm
Nanjiani.
of the North sequel?
Kumail Nanjiani is playing an ostrich, and Selena Gomez as Betsy, a giraffe.
Huh.
Well, it's an
and also
eclectic cast. It's an eclectic
Rami,
cast.
I think his name is Rami Malek as Chi-Chi, a gorilla. He's the main character in iRobot. No, not iRobot. Shoot.
I thought Rennie Harlem was the guy who directed Die Hard 2.
That's not the name I said. What show am I thinking of?
Cheech Marin.
Remy Malik.
Oh, that's not.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was Tut in Night at the Museum.
Yeah, that's that. Sure.
Oh,
he's got a hit.
not iRobot, Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot.
That's the
a
one.
Difference.
iRobot. I'm Mr. Robot.
He's gonna be Freddie Mercury.
Really?
Or is he? I thought that movie got canceled.
No, but it got picked up again, and instead of Sacha Baron Cohen, it's Rennie Harlem.
No, but Remy Malik.
His name?
Harlem.
But no, because what's his face? The creepy director.
Bretner.
Brian Singer.
Brett
He got kicked off that film.
I don't know the difference.
Bretner.
He got kicked off. I guess someone named Dexter Fletcher picked it up.
Dexter Jetster? No, it's the 50s type.
This is just imploding on itself.
The Queen movie's gonna have a 50s feel to it.
Structure, quick.
So, are you excited to see this?
No, we said 5 minutes of the news on this stupid Dr. Dolittle movie.
All right, we can move on to the only other piece of news I have.
Okay.
The rumor is that they are recasting Princess Leia for Episode 9.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's going to be.
Was that fake? Because I've seen
You shared it.
No, but people kept saying on there it was fake. But I looked at other places and it kept popping up.
Checks out. Checks out.
It looks like Disney could possibly. There's really nothing to prove it, but there's nothing to deny it.
After the whole Last Jedi fiasco, they're gonna play 9 real safe, so they're not gonna do that.
I mean, that's why they brought J.J. Abrams back. But Meryl Streep might be brought in to play Princess Leia in Carrie Fisher's absence.
What, from behind?
What are you trying
Why
to say
can we
about
never
her
see
behind?
her face? Well, it'll be like what we did in Slash. We'll just put a Leia wig on another chick, and she'll say all her lines, and we'll just see the back of her head.
There you go.
Or like what they
The
did
thing
with
is,
Shiv
that
the
worked.
later years. Huh?
The thing is,
that's
worked.
because it was one scene, and it would have been more effective if you had seen her face.
And it was a student college film. It wasn't Star Wars.
Hey,
I mean, at this
even
point,
Star
with
Wars
Solo-
started out as a student college film. College student film. whatever.
THX 187.
I thought, what was his movie? He's called.
THX something.
It was like 1181 or something.
138.
138. Because that number pops up through Star Wars.
Yeah.
TK421.
So
Nice.
would this upset you? Would it bother you? Would it just be?
I'm so done with Star Wars at this point. I just bought all the Blu-rays, but I'm so done with Star Wars.
Like, think about it. The only person to really be recast in a Star Wars movie is Ewan McGregor as a younger Obi-Wan.
I'm just saying.
Well, actually, also Anakin and.
Well, they should not do that.
And I guess, wasn't Palpatine the Emperor played by an old woman in 5?
No, it was an old woman's face with someone else with an old dude's voice.
Yeah.
I think they mixed in like a dog. I might be.
Wasn't it dog eyes or something? I don't remember.
It's something weird like that. Here's my thing. Boy, did they bet on the wrong horse. Because Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill still kicking.
I said that. I literally said that in another episode.
Well, I don't listen to these as much as you two do, apparently. So.
I don't think I've ever. I know, actually. I think I've sat down and listened to like some of the openings, but I've never gone back and listened to a full episode. Because I have to edit the whole thing, so I hear it 20 times before it gets released.
Yeah.
I had to watch the Thief and the Cobbler episode in parts because he kept screwing up the upload.
Yes, but now it's fine, and you can go back and watch it. It's actually one of my favorite episodes.
It's pretty great.
It's actually
I'm
one of our
very
most
proud of
popular episodes. Also, one of our least
Mason is not
popular
bitter about
episodes. One of our least popular episodes was my episode. Just in case you guys weren't watching,
it's the most recent
because no one else was
the most
watching.
Recent is never the most viewed or popular or whatever.
Buddy,
Except for mine.
It's been 3 weeks now. I think we're kind of at the.
Actually, yes, I do want to apologize that there was a week gap in between episodes. I have just started my new job, so I was getting used to the schedule.
Well, I'm sure all our many fans were very upset.
I'm sure Chad was curious, and I wanted to be.
Chad was probably worried about us. That's true. Oh, we're sorry, Chad. We're still around. Winnie's doing good. He's at the hospital. It's like Grey's Anatomy or Scrubs. Which one's the funny one?
I think it's Grey's Anatomy or ER.
I forgot about ER. Is that
It's
still
more...
on?
No.
I don't know.
That's been off a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move out of the news and move into Tyler reviews.
What? Oh, we're doing this.
Yes.
It'll be real quick. So here we go.
So here's the thing. This
Prelude.
podcast we record on Thursday night, so it's hard to go see any Thursday premieres. Somehow in Indiana, Tyler has managed to get an early viewing of Ready Player One.
This is not a joke. My buddy Tony hooks me up with these early screenings for things. And usually they're like nobody cares movies, like that Jack Reacher sequel. I saw that like 2 weeks early. But in this
I'm sure
case,
everyone was envious of you.
I saw Chips early, like nobody cares movies. But I got to see Ready Player One, a movie I have been heavily criticizing on the last few episodes because...
Yeah, you have.
The book is terrible. I'm going to start this review off. The book is awful. The book is like... It's like fan fiction where like the guy enters himself into the story like, and I met this guy and he thought I was the coolest thing ever and I did this and I challenged him to my knowledge of 80s comedies and he thought John Hughes directed Animal House.
And also the book is just like there'll be whole sections where it's just references of things he's
No,
seen.
yeah, he'll just list things. Like, and then I saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and he was driving the car from Ghostbusters. I noticed it had proton packs in it. Shut up. I know what things are. Shut up. So then they announced this movie, and I saw the trailers, and it's just, remember all these things?
Remember Iron Giant?
I remember.
Remember
yeah,
the DeLorean?
I remember. Remember
Remember
Chucky?
Harley Quinn?
Remember the Ninja Turtles? Remember Freddy Krueger? Remember all these things? So, anyways, I got to see a free screening, and I actually enjoyed it. So which is weird, but we're gonna get into that.
I love how you just like, let's get my opinion out of the way real quick. I liked it. Anyway, let's keep talking.
Well, the best way I can describe it, and I don't condone these actions, but I think it's like a one-night stand. Where I had a great time and it was a thoroughly enjoyable way to kill a couple hours, but it's empty and hollow and meaningless, and you're just left wondering, what was the point of it all?
And all it's really good for is keeping a lamp and some loose change on, right?
There you go.
Am I understanding the term of a nightstand right?
You know, I just wanted to buy a one-night stand, and he's right here. I did just get a nightstand this very week. How ironic.
Look at you being a big boy moving in
They
your
were
own
going to give
apartment.
me 2 nightstands, but I demanded 1 nightstand.
No, sir. Uno, por favor.
And that was my first one nightstand over there. So anyway, well, this joke's going on too long, which is about Ready Player One. So let's talk about the good things. Some of the references are so obscure and like stuff like only people like us would enjoy. And I'm not going to ruin too many of them, but I am going to say that the holy hand grenade of Antioch is a plot point at one point. Like, stupid things like that. They're like, no one else is going to care, but that's great. I love that.
I hate that excites me.
Right? I do too. I'm like, ooh, I know. It's like, oh,
The
you
fact
got me
that's
moving.
in there does not make it a good movie, but it makes me happy to
that's the
see.
problem. Yeah, I know. And there's a whole sequence dedicated to Stanley Kubrick, which will not ruin, but it's the best part of the whole movie. And like Kubrick and Spielberg were good friends before Kubrick went.
Do we get to see the Jude Law robot from AI?
Ooh,
Yeah, he goes into
everyone's
AI.
favorite.
Kind of, actually. But I'm not going to ruin it.
Don't ruin it. Don't ask him anymore.
Also, Mark Rylance plays Garth from Wayne's World as the inventor of the Oasis, and it's great. It's amazing.
That's great.
And
I've loved him since Bridge of Spies. I know that's really not that long
I'm glad
ago.
that him and Spielberg are like besties now. I think he was the big friggin' giant too.
Big friendly giant. He was also in
the
Dunkirk.
big friggin' giant. Bring your kids to see the
friggin'
big
giant.
friggin' giant. Family-friendly picture.
the characters actually keep this thing afloat. The villain is like a funny villain. Like both of the villains in the movie are funny villain. Like T.J. Miller voices like this assassin character.
T.J. Miller's in this?
Yes, and it's great. And then,
oh no!
Isn't he a sex fiend too? Everyone is.
I think he's just a jerk. I don't remember.
That could be.
He's Weasel.
But, he is a weasel. He's a big weasel.
Well, he's a big one, isn't he?
The rumor is some of the reshoots for Deadpool 2 is to cut some Weasel out of the film and replace him with
now with
someone else.
90% less Weasel.
I guess you could say Pop goes the Weasel out of the movie.
No. You're like one
Quality
of
jokes.
You're the Gene Shalit reviewer of the three of us.
I don't get that reference.
I think I get that. That's the one guy on Rotten Tomatoes that like gives the contrary
He's got
review
the
to
fro
everything.
and the cool mustache, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Gene Shalit."
Jack and Jill was a great comedy.
You should go back to the Future right now. Like he'd be the pun guy.
Jack and Jill went up the hill and got a great movie.
That's perfect.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Never mind. I was wrong. Anyway.
So, the movie is fun. The characters are fine. The references are a bit much, obviously. But, like if you're a film nerd and even if you don't like the movie, it's a fun Where's Waldo movie. You can just look on the screen and be like, oh, look, there's Christine. Oh, look, there's Pee Wee Herman's bike in the background.
It's kind of like if you were a big Lego fan going to see the Lego movie and like, oh, I used to have that minifigure. I know that set. Except
that
the Lego
was what
movie
you
was
guys
also
did there,
a big
but
quality, a nice quality film, high quality film.
Yeah, like, it's going to get compared to Wreck-It Ralph and Roger Rabbit in the Lego movie because it's the same kind of deal. Especially with the Chosen One narrative. Well, I guess that's not what I mean.
I was going to say, there's no Chosen One in Roger Rabbit.
No, in the Lego movie.
But if there was, wow.
One rabbit to rule them all. No,
Yeah, it's like, you are the Chosen One.
that was okay. All right.
No, that was terrible.
It's okay. We love
But it
you.
didn't go into Bullwinkle this time, so I'm happy.
It's progress. But here's my sum up of Ready Player One, because this review is anarchy. It's a decent movie by a great filmmaker based on a terrible book, and like I don't think anyone but Spielberg could have pulled this off. And it's actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
And when somebody put this in perspective for me, it's starting to make sense. Because in the 80s and 90s, there was a ton of like 60s and 50s nostalgia. Like, you remember when they had like a Leave It to Beaver movie and a Flintstones movie and a Beverly Hillbillies movie? You remember all that?
Yep.
Adam's Family.
Yep, no, exact same thing.
And
but
their
now we're all
values.
nostalgic for the 80s and the 70s and the 90s. So it's gonna be a continuing thing.
It's going to be weird when things get nostalgic for the
Yeah,
90s. Like, it's coming.
I don't want to be nostalgic for the early 2000s at all. I am not looking forward to that. It's like
It's going to be weird when, like, The Matrix gets popular again.
when they start wearing the trench coats.
Yeah, that comes back. Oh, I don't want this. I don't want this at all.
I don't want to live like this.
I remember the big thing, like, in the late 90s and early 2000s with, like, primary paint splattered things.
What?
I don't know. I just remember that color scheme being everywhere. And, like,
Well,
malls
the 90s
and stuff.
was bright, man.
Yeah.
I remember that. But
Do you think
Somebody
that's
wears
just
breakers.
do you think that's just because we were kids and we didn't have any responsibilities that we have now?
It's exactly like that. And here's the thing about our generation is the technology has been advancing so fast that it's hard to really connect with anyone because we grew up with like Walkmans and VCRs, and then the internet was slowly a thing, and now we're in an age of smartphones.
I still had to ask my
Terrifying.
parents' permission to get on the internet.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like Cub Penguin, but now look at us. Cub Penguin can play Yo.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, I was reading an article on that a while ago, but it was just like, ask your parents, what did a phone look like when they were a kid? All right, what did a phone look like when they were 20? Pretty much the same thing. You had the receiver and the handset.
Yeah.
What did a phone look like when you were a kid? The receiver and the handset, probably. Maybe you had the mobile one where you could walk around the house. What's a phone look like now? It's this little thing fits in your pocket. You can go anywhere.
Cord. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I was setting up my office phone today, and I'm talking, and I'm like, and it hit me. how long has it been since I've used a phone with a cord on it?
Yeah.
Right?
It took me out of the moment for a second. I'm like, holy cow, it's been like 10 years since I've used a phone like this.
Yeah.
And then you were like looking at yourself out of your body like the end of 2001.
And I was a space baby.
Anyways, real quick, I'm gonna sum up the end of my problem with Ready Player One is that it's so close to having good commentary and a good message, but it kind of throws it away towards the end.
Okay.
Because he's like, we should all love reality and other things, but you should still use the Oasis part of the time, and then aren't all these things you grew up with great?
Isn't it great that the Iron Giant has a gun?
Okay, that's my other big problem with the movie, is I still was super pissed with how they used him. Also, you get to watch him die again. Spoilers, but that was fun. Thank you.
Well, does he use a
Brought
gun
me
in the
right
movie,
back
or
to
is it
that
just...
theater in '99, re-bawling like a child again. So
Is it a gun, or is it just laser eyes? Because in the movie, he only
he
says
has
he's not...
both. He has
But
both
in the
of them.
first movie, he's only... I'm not a gun. He never clarifies and say that he's not laser eyes.
Yeah, he doesn't have laser eyes in that movie, so he doesn't have to think about it.
All right, shall we move on to the main purpose of tonight's episode?
We've already killed 20 minutes, so sure. Like, it's a Winnie episode, but you can't really tell. But we'll
No,
get there.
well, something I've had a problem with modern comedies, and something I felt Game Night brought up was we haven't
see it?
had. No, I did not. By the time I got around to it, it wasn't in any theaters, and I wasn't comfortable pirating it. So, but like comedies today, they don't stick like they used to.
Yeah, whatever happened to predictability?
The Milkman,
the
the
Paperboy.
Paperboy.
Evening
The
TV.
comedies on TV. But like, so many comedies are very Paul Feig, Judd Apatow style. The camera doesn't move. Any of the comedies just in the dialogue and maybe some pratfalls. I still hold that the majority of mainstream comedies since 2009 are just Hangover clones, and that includes Hangover 2 and 3.
Naturally.
Those aren't even
Naturally.
good hangover clones.
Exactly. Well, I looked it up, just like some of the big major mainstream comedies that were I don't even know if they were popular, but like The Night Before, Dirty Grandpa, Neighbors, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates,
Rough
Night, Office Christmas Party, I'd say Due Date, and even Horrible
Girls
Bosses.
Trip.
Don't forget Trainwreck.
Yeah. Well, that's more Judd Apatow than Hangover.
Yeah, because like a lot of
Because it
comedies
is
now are
Judd
just
Apatow.
like, what if our characters got really high or they got drunk and something crazy happened to them?
Women
Wouldn't
don't
that be
party
funny?
like men. Isn't
Yeah.
that bizarre?
like,
Toxic masculinity.
There just aren't.
Most unorthodox.
There aren't what I
Truly.
the term I'm. Okay, great. Yep, let's keep going with the old men impressions. I'm sure the people at home are loving them.
Oh!
Like I feel like there haven't been any epic comedies, for lack of a better term. Like think back to some of the greats like Ghostbusters, Young Frankenstein, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like there used to be these comedies that like were huge cultural influences and stuck with you. And I don't feel like we have that post, I don't know, like really post 2009. I think The Hangover was the last comedy that really influenced our culture.
Okay.
And that was almost 10 years ago. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
We'll say 40-Year-Old Virgin and Hangover really did a number.
Yeah, well, like the 40-year-old version is really where the Judd Apatow style of filmmaking came into play. And
Because
Judd
that was
Apatow
his
is
first movie.
Yeah, I think Judd is a very funny writer. He's very smart, but I don't like him as a director. He just kind of puts the camera, he locks it down, and they just shoot. They do a wide main, and then it's just kind of coverage. It's back and forth, over the shoulder kind of comedy.
Yeah.
And they
I've actually researched why they do that, and it's BS, but I thought I'd let you know.
Why?
They don't want the technical aspects to overtake the performances.
Well, that's complete crap.
I know, but
it's
that's what
because,
they say.
It's because modern comedies are they thrive off of improv. They need the actors to improv because they don't feel the scripts are strong enough. And if you have a very basic camera setup, it's easy to edit around. But if you were to go like an Edgar Wright style, where the camera shots are planned out months in advance, it doesn't leave you as much wiggle room to improv and even change the purpose of a scene.
Yeah.
And I also think that hurts in the edit where you remember something being really funny on set, or it's funny to you because you were there, and it doesn't necessarily translate through the screen to the audience.
Yeah, you got a point.
You do have a point.
I'm really happy you two are so engaged in the conversation.
I just
wanted to let you have your soapbox moment. I had a question.
Okay, go for it.
I guess, what do you want to describe as mainstream comedy? Because I was thinking about this today. Because I would consider, like, Hail Caesar, Wolf of Wall Street, Inherent Vice to be comedy films.
Yeah.
But, like, are they mainstream?
No,
do we count animated films? Because I thought Sponge Out of Water was one of my favorite comedies from 2015. Which
all right,
weird.
yeah. Then I should clarify. When I say mainstream comedies, I mean films that are comedies first, and comedy isn't second to the genre. Like, so I'm not looking at animated family films because I think those can be very funny, but they're not comedy films necessarily. They're animated family films, which tend to be funny. It's the same with like Wolf of Wall Street is a bio dramedy. What else?
If you had actually seen it, it's not that.
Grand Budapest.
Yeah, that's another good one.
See, Grand Budapest is a Wes Anderson film before anything else.
But
I
that's
wouldn't
not
classify it.
What is that?
Wes Anderson is his own genre, though.
Well, what about Hail Caesar? Because that is a comedy. Like, its sole purpose is ha-has, guffaws.
Right, but it hasn't stuck
the
with
Nice
us. No
Guys.
one's quoting it. No one's quoting The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys is a buddy
I
cop
am.
movie first.
Nice Guys was a good comedy.
No, it was.
think
I'm
both
not
of those are
saying
great
I'm not
comedies.
saying all comedies have been terrible up to this point, but there haven't been any comedies that have influenced the culture or stuck with us as an audience since The Hangover.
Okay, let's do this. If I may, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's because you and I talked about this forever ago, but let's each of the three of us pick some modern comedies from this decade that we would classify as great. Mainstream comedies.
Okay. Well, and
And
like,
talk about why. Let's talk about why.
See,
All right,
one of mine just falls out of the past decade.
Which one?
What is it?
Superbad?
Oh yeah, it's 2007.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it just falls out.
Superbad's good.
Superbad,
Yeah,
I
no,
think, is a
and
good
Superbad
comedy.
has stuck. It has an audience. It has influenced
Okay.
how films come.
I got one. Let's talk about Jump Street. We'll talk about a movie.
Ooh, very good.
Yep. No, I agree with you. I
Those
think
are
that
comedies people keep going back to, and I hear people quoting and talking about. And the filmmaking is there. Lord and Miller,
Yep.
very funny guys. Hope they get more work after Disney destroyed them, ate them up,
Absolutely.
and spit them
Yep.
out. I think they're doing that Spider-Man animated movie, which looked really cool. But anyways, let's analyze Jump Street, because here's a property that nobody cares about. No one cares about 21 Jump Street. So they're like, well, let's make it a screwball comedy and poke fun at the source material, but still respect it. And also make fun at these types of movies, like rebooting something from the 80s because we run out of ideas. And when you say it's influential, Baywatch and Chips just last year both ripped that movie off. So
Unsuccessfully.
That's very true. That's very true. And yeah, I'm actually going to write that down to remember that.
But why are you writing notes? We're talking.
I don't know. I don't even know why I said it. It's not going to influence the podcast
I am going
whatsoever.
to write that down.
Audience, I hope you're taking notes. This is one of the educational episodes we like to do.
There will be a
Get the
quiz.
word out.
This way you can talk to your friends and sound pretentious about movies like we do to everyone else in our
Sound
lives.
pretentious about 21 Jump Street. Impress your friends.
Okay, Mace,
So
how
what
about
about
you?
that movie makes
What?
it work?
What
Let's
about
talk.
me?
Oh, never mind. Let's stay on 21.
Let's talk about both of them. Like, what makes them work? Because 22 Jump Street, no one thought would work because they thought it was lightning in a bottle. But what do? They just make fun of the concept of sequels instead of making
Yeah.
fun of the concept of reboots.
That's true.
Right, but yeah, and they have a good story and a solid script, and filmmakers that know how to tell a story, not just written but visually.
Right, and the other thing that's good about it is the writing. Like, the first film is a deconstruction of high school and those stereotypes. Because they come from the early 2000s when they were originally in high school. And it's the stereotypical, like, bullies and cool kids, blah, 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 blah. Then you fast forward and they have to go back to high school in 2012, and it's full of hipsters and people who are conscious of green efforts and gay kids and all sorts of things. So, like, it's making fun of that culture where Jonah Hill was the loser way back in the 2000s. Is now
way
considered
back.
Cool. In 2005, yes. Come on, guys, let's get conversation going. I'm really trying here.
No, I got you.
Sorry, I was listening to your points. No, I think you are correct in all that. They played off the stereotypes.
I think it's a movie about playing off the stereotypes. Because, like, at the chase scene, another great example, they keep waiting for the truck to explode, and it's not until, like, the chicken truck that it explodes.
It's great because it subverts your expectations.
Like The Last
Absolutely.
Jedi, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you thought that a thing was going to happen in 21 Jump Street, you thought the thing was going to blow up, but really nothing happened. That's subverting your expectations, and that's good writing.
I won't
You
disagree.
think Jonah Hill's going to be this important person in the course of the movie, and he's just a guy.
Oh my goodness. Mason, do you have another one that is post 2009?
I'm actually literally trying to go through here, and
All right, let's talk about Scott Pilgrim and World's End, because those are both. And I don't think Baby Driver's a comedy.
no, I don't think
I
it
wouldn't
is.
classify it. It's funny, but not a comedy.
Yeah.
Now,
All right, well, let's talk about.
now
his
I would say more of an
acting.
action
They're
film.
mainstream.
is The World's End mainstream? Because it's one of my favorite movies, but I feel like
It is a comedy, and it was released to the public, and it made money. It made more money overseas, but like the Cornetto trilogy has been successful in the U.S.
right.
Nothing's
Well,
beaten
since
Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz has made a lot of money, but
Yes.
that's still great.
Right, but I feel like Scott Pilgrim is kind of a cult classic now.
Yeah, that bombed hard
Yeah.
because
I saw it in
theaters.
theaters. I saw it in theaters.
And I saw World's End in theaters. But I don't know how well either of those did in the States.
I know
In
The
the
World's End
colonies.
lost money. I remember looking at that.
In U.S., but in worldwide, it made a
I'm
decent
sure,
amount.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is an unfortunate thing. Like, Shaun the Sheep was bombed in the U.S., but it was successful worldwide, so it gets a sequel. So,
Yeah,
like,
now-
those Brits know what they're doing.
To me, The World's End is like
The
It's
best
the-
comedy of the decade.
absolutely it is what other filmmakers should look at, and I think Game
I don't
Night
like The World's End,
definitely
though.
took influence from Edgar Wright, in its comedy, because I'm not saying The World's End is a perfect film, but I think Edgar Wright is a great director for directors of comedy to emulate, because he doesn't lock the camera down.
Absolutely.
I'm sure every kid that considers himself a filmmaker has watched Every Frame of Painting talking about Edgar Wright, and there are jokes in the camera and stuff like that, but it works. There's
It's so
more effort
dense.
put into the film.
Each and every image has so much going on.
It comes off as an actual film rather than just a bunch of comedic sketches woven together for an hour and a half.
Right, with characters and a point and actual emotion at the end. Like, I tear up. I'm not gonna lie. I tear up at that scene when they're fighting in the bar. Just the two of
Absolutely.
them.
And the thing is, that emotion just doesn't come up at the third act break. It's laying
It's built up.
out through the
Everything
whole
is built
film.
up.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Now, Mason, why don't you like it? Because in my mind, it's probably the most perfect comedy we've had in a very long. That whole trilogy.
Since Hot Fuzz.
Compared to the other films of the Cornetto trilogy, I just don't connect with that one as much. I do agree with it's a good movie. But when I'm looking at the Cornetto trilogy as a whole, if I could, if you say, oh, all right, we got one of these three films to watch, that one's always going to be my last.
Well, how come? I'm actually curious.
I'm fond of them in release order. I think Shaun of the Dead is fantastic.
They're all
Mhm.
great. I'm
Yeah,
not
no, yeah.
arguing
I
with
just
you.
I think I just enjoy that plot more. I didn't.
Well, here's my thing, and here's something I thought long and hard about.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the three of us is a different Simon Pegg character in those movies. I'm Gary King, Winnie's Sean, and Mason
What?
is Nicholas Angel.
Okay, well,
Sure.
thank you. I guess.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay, please explain.
Do you guys disagree with that ranking? Because that's how I picture
I
it.
don't understand the ranking. Okay.
You're the
Expand on
nice guy who's oblivious, but you're trying.
Gee, thanks, Tyler.
Mason's more by the book, but because of us, he lightens up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
And I'm the schmuck still trying to get his life together, who's still living in the past.
And for me, I connect with The World's End because at the time of my life, I saw it. You know, it's all about the film is Gary King trying to reconnect like it was in high school.
Those glory
Reconnect
days,
with his
right?
friends, relive them, yeah. And I think I saw it either my sophomore or junior year of college, and I had just come back from summer break or spring break or one of the breaks, and I felt like I wasn't connecting with my old high school friends like I used to, and that kind of upset me, you know. And then seeing this one, like I feel how he feels. I understand that pain that he's going through.
Yeah.
Of just it feels like you're losing or you've lost your old friends and wanting to relive those days and get them back.
And it never got better from there. It really didn't.
So I would love to talk about what you think was like not the greatest film, but what were some of the last iconic comedies?
Like, that we love, or were iconic for comedy in general?
I guess more iconic.
Did you just
in
say
general.
comedy and genitals?
It was a Freudian penis.
Way to go,
it was a
Seth
Freudian
Rogen.
slap.
Like I feel like, barring Borat in 2006, I feel like,
God, Borat. Yeah.
but
yeah.
that definitely stuck around. Like that.
Yeah,
that
but
had,
there were no movies like Borat.
this
Because
is true.
Jackass was already making movies at that point and doing that formula.
Mhm.
And Sacha Baron Cohen tried to follow it up with like Bruno and Dictator and stuff and failed. So no one has tried to make another Borat.
This is true.
Hangover though, and
yeah.
I love that movie. If you don't love The Hangover, I understand. I completely understand. But I think that's, for what it is, a well crafted that kind of comedy. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. But I
But
feel
the
like,
problem is what you said. Like so many movies are trying to be that since then, and the only successful one I can think of is Bridesmaids. Maybe.
Bridesmaids was
Right.
very successful. Bridesmaids is quoted a lot. I think that may be one of the exceptions to
I like Bridesmaids. I know a lot of people who
Yeah.
like Bridesmaids.
yeah, no, bridesmaids.
Bride
I
Dating
can't
Spades?
say it now. No,
Bob
and I
Suit. I'm
agree,
talking
but
about Bob Suit.
I don't know. It's still just that Judd Apatow style that really bothers me.
Yeah.
Well, it's Paul Feig too. It's Apatow and Paul Feig. But the
like a
key,
double
them coming
header.
together.
Then that's why. But the key that makes Bridesmaids work is Kristen Wiig. Like, that's her
Yeah,
character.
absolutely.
That's her script.
Mm-hmm.
And same for like, well, not Trainwreck, because I didn't care for Trainwreck. But I mean, it's the same idea because Amy Schumer wrote that. Stole it from a bunch of people, but she wrote that.
She wrote down other people's jokes.
But she did write them.
Yeah. I think another one like Spy was received really well,
I really liked Spy.
but like that hasn't stuck around at all. That's why I don't
that's
count
the
it.
thing, because I enjoyed The Heat and Spy, and people enjoyed them at the time, and like still
Yes.
remember them fondly, but nobody talks about them.
Well, I don't think anyone really remembers them. That's the thing. I
There
think
some good jokes, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
I think so. Like before, I think comedy started having that downslide. I think the last year of like really great epic comedies is 2004 with comedies like Napoleon Dynamite, Mean Girls, and Anchorman.
Yeah.
One of my
'Cause
favorite
Pete-
comedies is actually from 2005. That's Nacho
What is it?
Libre.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
from the Napoleon Dynamite people.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
I think it's a better Napoleon Dynamite. Like, if I have the choice between the two, I'm picking Nacho every time.
It has a more traditional story structure, so it's kind of easier to watch.
Yeah, but I just think the jokes are funnier.
Oh, I mean that yeah. I'm not
Okay,
gonna argue with
I got a
that.
question for you, and here's something I've been thinking about. I watched Galaxy Quest the other day.
Classic.
That is a
Ooh.
terrific spoof film.
Absolutely.
What happened to those? Because Mel Brooks dominated that market for decades on end, and now
Yeah.
I know what happened to
think-
it.
we know that Epic Movie and those guys in Scary Movie killed them.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
killed
Why
them.
can't we bring that back?
Because I feel like parody has moved to YouTube.
That's true. No, that's
Like
very
I'm not
true.
I'm not happy about that, but it's just like it's so quick to parody anything that comes out and just slap it up online. You know, there's no worry of disconnect. It's at its height of popularity because they're making it like within the same week.
That's true.
Like you don't have to worry about will this be funny in a month because who
You don't
cares? Because
care.
within that month you've made other parodies of things that are popular.
And the social time frame for things is so much faster now.
It's true. Yeah, that's why South Park is still kicking.
Yeah. But like you said, I think in a way, 21 Jump Street's kind of a parody of.
That's true. That's actually a good
Yeah.
point. But I just miss that Naked Gun style of comedy.
The Naked Gun movies are all three of them are just so good.
I still need to see Top Secret, but I really enjoy that trilogy and the Airplane. I haven't seen the second Airplane.
Have you watched what was the Naked Gun TV show called?
Police Squad. There's only
Police
6
Squad.
episodes, and they're great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're wonderful.
I don't know why that didn't go further. I wish there were more. But...
I was reading about that, and you know why the guys who directed it found out it didn't work on television, but worked in the movies.
I
Because
can see that.
I
I thought it worked fine, but I can see that.
well, no, like audiences didn't connect with it on TV.
Oh, because
It's because when you're in a movie theater, you're only looking at the screen. The screen commands your attention.
you
when
have
you're
to
sitting
look
at
out
home
for
watching,
jokes and
Yeah.
background things. Yeah.
when you're
that
sitting
makes
at
sense.
home watching TV, you can be distracted. You're not necessarily watching the screen, and so many of the gags are visual that you could miss them.
Yeah.
I think TV's getting back to a point where it's getting to be like cinematic quality. That
Oh,
movies
yeah,
could be, like, back to
absolutely,
be attempted
but-
again.
Back in the 70s and 80s.
Right. It was just the boob tube and it was on in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I do want to mention that like comedies there have been great comedies since 2009. They've just been in the indie scene or just smaller films.
Or
Or,
even like more mainstream stuff made by actual filmmakers, like Hail Caesar.
Well, think about it. Like I think one of the best comedies of this century so far is What We Do in the Shadows.
Century, huh?
I'm trying decade.
No, and
this side of 2000
Hunt
is what
for
I
the
meant.
Wilder People's kind of a comedy.
Kind of, but it's also an adventure film. So like, yeah.
Heck, you can classify. I think Ragnarok and Homecoming are comedies from my
Yes, but they're
I'm still in
superhero
this
movies
podcast.
first. That's why I don't count them.
but they're hilarious. But
Oh, they are. They're very funny. I'm just being uber picky in this episode to be able to
Fine,
talk
it's your
about
episode.
comedies. But yeah, no, What We Do in the Shadows is great. I think Bernie's one of my favorite comedies.
Bernie's great. Yeah, I was lucky enough to see that in the theater.
Would you see? Would you say Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl is a comedy?
No,
It's kind of
no.
a
it's got
dramedy.
too many dramatic elements.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing. Like just slapping labels on things is hard for movies sometimes.
Well, especially now. Mason and I were talking, and Mason made the point that like so many films nowadays have evolved a single genre.
That's
I
true.
did say that.
I highly agree with that.
They're not just one thing anymore.
No.
And in a way, I'm happy for that. I think that's a good thing. I think we get stronger films like Birdman, which isn't just a comedy, which isn't just a dramedy.
But it's amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But at the same time, I miss I miss the Mel Brooks kind of films.
Well,
Or
those
like
are very vaudeville in your face, and I do miss those too. But I don't know if there's
Yeah.
a place for that with modern audiences. Unfortunately. Because you can
I
tell,
don't know.
like, even when
because there's
jokes...
still like people still find them funny today. I just
That's true.
don't feel like studios want to put money towards them. I think the Judd Apatow, Paul Feig style of comedies has been so financially safe that they don't want to put money on anything.
They're cheap to make
else.
because it's
Yeah,
just people
exactly.
talking in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Like, if you could, I don't think you could find anyone to finance Blazing Saddles in the last few decades, if we're being honest.
I'm sure some SJWs hate it.
Oh, I'm sure, because they don't get it.
Yeah, well, like, yeah. No,
I mean, a black man wrote it, guys. Richard Pryor.
well, so many black men wrote it. It wasn't just Richard. There was a writing room.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. There you go.
This has been
But where were
Facts
the white
with
women at?
Lakaitis.
Yeah, he does research on the IMDb's.
Just the internets in
I
general.
just wanted to remind listeners that I was still here.
Mason, we're gonna make you talk for a minute then.
Yeah.
Let's see. What makes a good comedy in your mind?
Listen, going with what Lakaitis said that I said. Yeah, I just think comedy, the comedy genre in general, especially with today's climate, has just made people scared of taking risks. So people are more like, well, we can do this movie, but make it like a comedy as well. We can have a superhero movie here, but slip some comedy, make that the comedy there.
People like jokes.
People like jokes, and it's safer here. But I don't want to put money into this straight up comedy here because I'm not sure if people are going to be insulted by some of the jokes or anything like that.
They'll put jokes in even when they don't make sense, like in Batman v Superman, when he's like, "Is she with you?" And like, she's obviously been with you for the whole movie. You sent her emails, Bruce.
Yeah.
But I also think like Marvel is getting better at knowing the balance between comedy and superhero film.
Yeah, there was
Except for that "what are those" joke, which is the worst thing they've ever done.
This is true, but like I feel like Black Panther doesn't, except for the "what are those" joke, they don't feel compelled to put comedy in the film, and it's a better film for it.
Yeah, it's an actual what they do is an actual technical term, and I'm forgetting the what's the name?
The technical term.
Yeah, what's the technical term for serious moment diminished by comedy? I forget it.
Which
either way, it's an actual thing, and they use it in for a while they used it in every film, like serious moments diminished, undercut by comedy, and it's
Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, some
Guardians
parts of Thor
Galaxy
Ragnarok.
Volume 2.
Yeah. Oh, that was my biggest problem with Guardians 2 is
I
that it
love
was
that movie.
well, I mean, yes, but like there are just jokes in places like I don't want to laugh right now. I'm kind of wrapped up in the drama of it.
Like David Hasselhoff coming out of nowhere at a super serious moment.
But also current David
didn't
Hasselhoff,
think that was funny,
not
though. I
80s
thought it was-
David Hasselhoff.
Well, you can't.
It was meant to be funny, whether you found it funny or not. I mean, it was obviously meant to be a joke. Especially with his delivery. That best
and
suited
his
you.
song at the end.
I love, but you thought that was Will Ferrell, you moron.
Yeah. It's just a head. I don't know what
Didn't
David
look
Hasselhoff
a
looks
thing
like.
him. You've seen the SpongeBob movie. You know what he looks like.
SpongeBob
very
movie is such a
hairy.
good movie.
Do you know they sold his body double? This like giant David Hasselhoff they used for that scene when
They
when
sold
they're
it
just
to David Hasselhoff, right?
I hope. Otherwise, it's
He
kind of weird.
he keeps
But yeah,
it in
it's
his
great.
house.
That's great because they had to like film on his legs and stuff, like stuff that'd be really uncomfortable to make him sit for hours. So they just put a motor on a giant David Hasselhoff and put him to sea.
I'm pretty sure, at least for a time, he kept that in his home. I don't know if he auctioned it off for charity or something, but I know he at least once owned it himself.
Probably slept with it, cuddled it,
He slept on it. It's that big.
slept, said calming, nurturing things to it.
It's okay. It's okay.
You are the Hoff. You are.
You're not sleeping with it, are you, Egon?
Yeah. So, I guess kind of wrapping up and moving on to another subject, in a way, palate cleansers.
All the best comedy is on TV. Fight me. Parks and Rec, It's Always Sunny, 30 Rock.
Yeah. No, I agree. But what are, give me, I don't know, your top 3 favorite comedies. I take it by this stalling laughter, you'd like me to go first?
Can we do top 5?
Sure. I don't think the extra 2 makes a difference. Oh boy.
Okay, you go.
I feel like you two believe our main export of comedy on this podcast is just making strange noises.
Mason, do the rabbit from that Disney cartoon laugh. Okay, I'm all better. What was the question?
Top 5 favorite comedies. Whenever you two are ready.
Hold on. This one. That one.
Top 5? I don't even know how to count to 5.
I got him. You ready?
All right, go for it.
Number 5, Big Lebowski.
Oh.
Number 4,
Okay.
Ghostbusters. Number 3, Hot Fuzz. Number 2, Love and Death. Number 1, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I love Love and Death. I keep forgetting about it.
Oh,
But it's
yes.
so
That's
good.
a good one.
It's one of my favorite. I'm so, that's a movie people need to talk about more. Because, people always mention, Sleeper and Bananas. But I'm like, the funniest Woody Allen movie is, right there. Just.
Oh, absolutely.
But,
It's very hard to find, though.
I mean, I have it on 2 formats, and I have one that I've been saving for you, but you gave away my VCR, so I'm going to have to find you it on DVD now.
You gave away his VCR?
Right?
Wait, who gave?
You did.
No, I gave it to Hunter.
That's like giving it away. I'll never see it again.
I gave it to the person you told me to give it to.
I
so it
don't
is not
remember
my fault.
that.
I will go back and find the messages. Facebook is tracking all my data.
That is true.
Yeah. Calm down there, sonny boy, as long as I get it back.
Mosuda.
All right, Mace, how about you?
I'm not
like the Naboo.
I'm not quite ready yet. I have 3.
My favorite comedy is The Phantom Menace. There we go.
I was going to say my favorite comedy is the first 5 minutes of The Last Jedi.
My favorite comedy is 12 Years a Slave.
I'm laughing already. That's way too long to be enslaved.
All right, we should actually probably cut that out. That was a little too much. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, Mace, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep that one in.
Please cut
Turns
that out.
you're a racist.
SJW,
Please.
look what Mason said.
Please cut that out. I just tried to pick.
Creatures of the deep attack.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
No, but
all right,
cut that out.
I'll go. I mean, my absolute favorite comedy is To Be or Not to Be.
We know,
I think-
you never shut up about it.
You really do.
I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast yet, though. It
You
stars
have.
Jack Benny. It's
Thrice.
good.
You
I
got
should
this exact
buy
same spiel.
a To Be or Not to Be movie poster. That's what I need to use my money
We
towards.
should dig a
Now that I have a job and can become financially stable, I should buy a poster.
And of course, The World's End, as we've mentioned already.
See, here's the thing. World's End's my favorite of the 3, but I think Hot Fuzz is the funniest of the 3. Hence
I think
my
Hot
choice.
Fuzz is definitely the best movie.
I
just like The World's End more.
World's End is I like it way better. It's probably in my top whatever movies, but Hot Fuzz is hilarious and
no, definitely.
infinitely quotable.
Let's see. It's so hard to just put 3 other movies. Like, there's The Naked Gun, What We Do in the Shadows, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I think I'd love to name some of my more
Kevin
obscure
Bacon.
comedies. The Return of the Pink Panther is great. I
got
think
that
that's
on
Peter Sellers'
Laserdisc.
best. I do. I'm looking at it right now. That's why I remember it. Sleepwalk with Me is a great comedy that I don't think anyone's really watched.
I didn't laugh that much in it. I didn't
Yeah,
know it was
neither did
supposed to
I.
be a comedy.
I enjoyed it, but I
Fuzz.
didn't laugh that much.
No offense. And then I watched that other one he did with the improv.
Yeah.
Improv comedians piss me off, man. They think they're so funny.
But that it's not a film about improv comedy. It's a film about following your dreams.
But it's about improv comedy.
Oh boy! Don't think twice. That's the name of it. I'm looking at my shelf of DVDs.
About watching it again.
Oh boy!
Feed me a raging in it.
A Night at the Opera or Animal Crackers. Those are my two favorite Marx Brothers movies.
I love Duck Soup. That's another good one. It's a Mad World. That's another good one.
That was one of mine.
Film.
That was one of mine.
Well, you don't have to tell us yet. Speedy, Safety Last, The Great Dictator,
Speedy?
Gold Rush. Speedy is.
Are you
one
just gonna
of
go through all of mine, or?
No. Speedy is one of Harold Lloyd's films. He was the third great silent comedian next to Chaplin and Buster Keaton. But he is.
Bacon.
My goodness. Why would you say Kevin? It doesn't relate. It doesn't connect to anything I said.
Because
you just said...
I can.
All right, Mace. How about you?
So yeah, I have It's a Mad World. I have Modern Times.
Ooh, that's a great movie.
I actually comedy wise, I enjoy that more than The Great Dictator. The scene where Chaplin is strapped to the automatic food feeder thing, it just had me rolling.
Had him rolling too.
You don't know how wrong it feels for me to say one of my favorite Chaplin films is one of his talkies.
Well,
is it Limelight? Because that wasn't funny at all.
No, he said The Great Dictator.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like Limelight. It's the only time Chaplin and Buster Keaton perform on film
Limelight's
together.
great, but it's not a comedy.
No, it is not. It is not.
What's
but
that
it's just
other one he did with the murder?
I've watched part of it. I cannot remember the name of it.
I don't either. I need to see it.
I remember it just was weirdly dark for a Chaplin film, so it really threw me. And
no, I need to. I don't know.
Anyway, Mace, continue with your list. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Got Nacho Libre there, The Big Lebowski, 21 Jump Street, Spaceballs. I like Men in Tights.
Oh,
I love The Producers so much.
I like the remake.
I'd say
I do.
We've talked about that before. We literally talked about that last episode, I think.
Did we?
Either that or 2 episodes ago.
Man, we can't keep the time jump because I forget what the last one was even about.
Look, it's really hard to sit down and edit these. I can't do it every week.
Oh, well, we can take it from you. Can you imagine a Yeti edited episode? It'll be like a slam DJ full of sound effects.
Oh, no.
Shock
but they're all
DJ.
sound effects from SpongeBob because those are the only ones you have ingrained in your brain. That or
That's
Animaniacs.
what you use every time I swear. Watch!
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a T42, anything with a swing or two, and I love you.
See? The dolphin, isn't it? Isn't it?
It might be the foghorn. I don't know. I'm trying to collect all of them. To me, okay, I think the 2 perfect comedies are Young Frankenstein and Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I don't find Ghostbusters that funny.
It's insanely quotable.
It is quotable. But quotable film does not a comedy
probably
make.
The comedy I've seen the most, if I'm being honest. I see it about every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just... And Young Frankenstein is such a good film because it's not just about the comedy. It's about Mel's love for the classic cinema. And it just bleeds through in every aspect from the set design to the camera.
And Gene Hackman plays a blind man in the greatest scene in cinema.
That was Gene Hackman?
Yes,
yep.
It was.
he really wanted to be in a Mel Brooks film, but he didn't want to be credited. So he just showed up for the day, and that's what they did.
Maybe watch it again.
Grand Budapest. I think Grand Budapest is a great comedy.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of Wes Anderson films, most of them are really funny. Like Rushmore is my favorite.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is hilarious.
Yeah. No, they're absolutely comedies. I feel like they're in a genre all their own, so I don't count them as for the purpose of this episode in real life. If you say Wes Anderson's films are a comedy, I'm not going to fight you.
Yeah, Chad.
Leave him out of this. He did nothing wrong.
We love you. Please don't stop listening. Life Aquatic is a very sad comedy that really touches my little heart.
This is true. All right, so since we don't have any questions this week, but I still want to propose.
I'm sure
one
we
to you.
did, but you forgot them.
No, because I keep up on. I don't post much on the Facebook and Twitter, but I keep up with the responses. But
You don't
what
post
do you?
anything. How do we have any responses?
People want to talk to us? Maybe, I don't know.
No, they don't. Don't lie to the people.
If you wanted to show someone your style of comedy, what you feel is your sense of humor in a movie, what do you show them? If it was me, I'd probably have to show them a not too funny comedy.
Don't be mean on yourself. You wrote Pixie Mullet.
I'm partially writing that.
Then you wrote that college gambling movie.
Yeah, it's called House Party, starring Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler.
It was called The House. House Party is a different movie.
Sure, I don't remember.
You wrote Life Questions.
Anyway, a film that you feel sums up your sense of humor.
I Love and Death.
I'd say Young Frankenstein for me. Mason?
Run on the ring.
Mason is Julie and Julia, where I guess we're moving on. I'm kidding.
I probably
I laughed more at that joke than I did at that movie.
Mason, it's not hard questions. No one's ever going to hold you to your answer.
I know.
Mason's favorite comedy is Schindler's List. Moving on. He's a self-loathing Jew.
Probably. What the heck? That's so wrong. That is so wrong.
Oh my gosh, the Gumby movie. I don't care. Get it out.
I don't.
Something. Anything.
If you guys keep talking.
Lars and the Real Girl. Land Before
That's
Time.
a good movie. Land Before Time. I haven't watched that since preschool.
It's so good. I watched that the other day. I cried when his mommy dies. Baby's mom can go to hell. That's where I cry.
There's another
That's
dolphin
where grown
for
men
you.
cry.
Can I talk about two movies that have been brought up recently?
Mason needs to give his answer.
I don't know. Probably Grand Budapest.
All right, there we go.
moving
Moving on.
on.
Can we talk about how there have been two really good videos online about how The Cat in the Hat and Freddy Got Fingered are actually really great comedies that no one got?
No, Freddy Got Fingered is terrible. I love Red Letter Media, but I hate that movie.
But I think it's so interesting to propose that the idea that this film that is actually terrible.
What's Freddy Got
What?
Fingered?
It's a Tom Green movie where they gave him millions of dollars to make a feature film, and he did.
Yeah, it's considered one of the worst comedies of all time.
It made Ebert almost quit at one point.
Yeah. But Red Letter Media poses that it's actually him making fun of like Adam Sandler mainstream comedies of the time. And he's like purposely wasting the studio's money to make this film.
This is a fancy restaurant.
This is a fancy restaurant. This is a fancy restaurant.
The clips and the context they provided made it funny, but you have not sat through the whole thing, and you couldn't make it.
I have not, and I
it is an
definitely will
endurance
not.
test. It is an endurance test, and I can't stand it, and I'm not going back.
All right. But what do you think about what they said about The Cat in the Hat? How it's
I've always loved that movie. I think it's a little absurd because, I mean, out of all the Seuss books you can take and do nothing with, That's a good one because it doesn't have a
Absolutely.
message like Lorax or Grinch.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I quote that. I'm pretty
So
sure we
often.
quoted that in college more than any other movie.
We quote that in the Phantom Menace making of documentary more than an actual film.
That's true.
But
That's
I think
very
it's great
true.
points, and I would say yes, no, The Cat in the Hat is not a great movie, but
No.
it sets out, it does absolutely what it wanted to
But
do.
it was stupid. It's so. It's a thing of
I'll get you,
magic
and I'll make it look like a bloody
wonder.
accident.
Anything. Anything.
Anything.
I'll end. It's not a
I
movie
just-
for children.
I just want to put something out there really quick. Out of just because we brought it up, I looked up some info on Freddy Got Fingered on Google
no.
here.
Oh no.
Well, no, here's the thing. So
It's not a good sign.
it looks like
I
it's
don't
a
know what you're
newer
going to say
thing.
about this movie that I'm
It's
going
a
to be
newer
comfortable
thing.
having on the podcast.
No. It's a new thing, I guess, for reviews. Just when you search it, you can vote for tags. And it says help others decide by choosing the best tags, like unsettling. Like, is that the norm here? Is that what people are suggesting?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of something I could describe from the movie that would be appropriate for this
Yeah,
podcast,
no, the
but
two things
coming-
I'm thinking of definitely I will tell you off air.
Okay.
we can talk about the kid.
Oh, that's actually, I think that's a great gag. Explain it. Tell it to Mason.
All right, so you know how stupid comedies will have running gags about people getting hurt, like Steve Buscemi and Grown Ups, which I hate that I know that, but that's a thing. So he tries to make a point about it, I guess, but it's a small child, and every time he gets hurt in the running gag, it's like a serious graphic injury, and he like.
And it
Does he
sticks
get
with
into
the
a wood-
movie. Throughout the
does he-
movie, he continues to have these injuries.
Yeah, he loses teeth. I think he goes through a wood chipper. What happened at the end?
He runs into a plane propeller, and the crowd is just covered in his blood.
It wasn't funny watching it, but just thinking about it. I hate it. You feel so terrible talking about it.
And to make sure that they didn't get an NC-17 rating, you just hear the kid go, "I'm okay, Daddy, I'm okay."
Which makes no sense.
Absolutely
That
no
should have
sense.
gotten a PG-13 or NC-17.
They should have run it down. It's a G film.
Bring the children. They need to see this film.
I think that about does it for this episode of
I'm-
Artificial Entertainment.
We're ending with Freddy Got Fingered. I'm so upset.
Cinema
if
is
you-
dead.
We've proved it. In the last hour, we've slowly proved it.
If you want to tell us what your favorite comedies are, or if we recommended any films that you think are terrible, add us at Artificial Pod on Twitter, or you can email us at artificialpod@gmail.com.
If you actually like Freddy Got Fingered, please unfollow us right now.
Oh, please, we need the
There's
audience.
the button.
We can't
Staring
be
you
picky.
right in the
We can't be
face.
picky. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Josh_Lakaitis. I always put our Twitter names in the episode description because I know
You
Lakaitis is not an
do?
easy name to spell. Yes.
You jerk.
Mason, where can they find you?
They can find me at Good Old Price on Twitter every once in a while, on Instagram, and other places, I'm sure.
Perfect. Tyler, where can they find you?
At TY Super Genius on Twitter, I guess. Which I'm warming up to. Like, I found something on Twitter. There's this profile that does fake, like, Twilight Zone intros, and it's wonderful.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that. I follow a lot of like animation pages. Like
I do
I
too,
follow
yes.
a page that is just animation smears.
Yep, nope, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
it's fun. But yeah,
What?
thank you to Sam Martin for our theme music.
Yeah.
I have forgotten to thank him in the past 2 episodes, and I made a point of saying that. And thank you for listening. Like it really does mean a lot that you listen to 3 idiots, just 3 white guys talk about movies, and like there are
Well, they
millions
didn't
of
know we
podcasts
were
like that.
white, man.
We're in the
Man.
logo.
Oh.
Or cartoons. You don't know what colored cartoons are. Like Doug, I could be blue.
If you could leave us a review with whatever you're listening on, that would mean a lot. It helps other people find us, and other
definitely.
people find out we have terrible taste in movies.
And be sure to share. We have our podcast on YouTube, on iTunes,
Stitcher,
and on
SoundCloud.
Really, on Stitcher? I didn't know that. Here we are.
I'm
on
trying to
Stitcher.
put this on. I just can't figure out how to get into Spotify.
You know what? We'll get there eventually.
If you work for Spotify and know how to solve this problem, please tweet at us at
you go.
artificial pot.
If you can think of a new running gag for us to end the episodes on, now that Tyler actually has a Twitter, let us know.
Yeah.
I could think of something.
Chad,
I
you're
don't want
perfect.
you to follow me, but if you do, I'm not gonna pitch a fit either. Let's talk about the next episode because we're running
Tyler,
early.
what is the next episode?
Well, here's a little prelude. I'm glad you asked, Josh.
Well, you prompted me, Tyler.
I sure did.
I'm just
So I
glad
got
to
to
be
thinking-
here, Mason.
Okay.
So, there's a new Muppet Babies reboot out. Now, I've heard people all over talking about how terrible television is now and how terrible children's television, and I'm like, wait a minute. Let's have an experiment. So we are going to watch 3 children's shows from the 1980s just to prove that television has always been awful.
Oh no.
Oh,
We are going to watch an episode of Small Wonder, an episode of Rubik the Amazing Cube, and an episode of, what is it, Welcome to Pooh Corner? Anyways,
okay.
It's a Winnie the Pooh show with terrifying live-action costumes with make the mouths move. So,
I forgot you asked. Could we do episodes of television? What episode? I forgot I said yes, and now I really regret it.
oh, you will. They're all on YouTube, so if you kids want to watch, to follow along, we'll be posting the link and the title of the episode. So,
Oh,
Great.
Well-
boy.
Wonderful.
see you next time, kids.
Hey,
Zany
all right.
episode part
Thanks
2.
for listening,
Revenge.
and God bless.
Hey guys, speaking of 80s TV, did you guys know in the GGU, Hitler survived and disappeared to St. Olaf?
Well, he
Golden
found a
Girls,
way to somewhat
He has been waiting
organically.
this whole episode to bring up that Hitler is actually alive in the Golden Girls show.
It's true. It just kind of gets swept under the rug. But Rose,
What's that, Mason? What?
It,
I
it
hear
gets
the music
swept under
coming.
the rug. He's there in Golden